Chapter 328. I can't accept this. The elder roared and struggled with all his might. Blood filled the air and the underground cave kept shaking. Lu Ming and Mo Ying looked at the scene in shock. The 9 dragons' bloodline's abnormal movement came from this pool of blood. Looking at the situation, it should be the blood of a flood dragon and even the soul of a flood dragon. Lu Ming's mind was racing. But what's up with that elder? Lu Ming could not figure it out, but one thing was for sure. This was not the ancestral inheritance that the Mo family had mentioned. Looking at Mo Ying's expression, it was obvious that she did not know either. He and Mo Ying had been deceived. The huge elder struggled more and more violently, as if he could break free at any time. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, 2 old men with almost all their hair and faces full of wrinkles suddenly appeared on both sides of the cave. As soon as the 2 old men appeared, rays of dazzling light flew out from their hands. The light flew into the surrounding walls of the cave and inscriptions appeared on the walls. Countless inscriptions intertwined and formed an inscription formation. They condensed into strips of light and flew into the pool of blood. Suddenly, inscriptions appeared on the surface of the blood in the pool of blood and the huge flood dragon condensed by the blood. This greatly increased the power of the bloodwater flood dragon, and it immediately suppressed the huge old man's figure. Ah! Despicable Mo family, I can't accept this. The huge elder let out an indignant roar. Suppress! The 2 old men from the Mo family shouted softly and their bodies shone. They controlled the inscription formation to suppress the huge elder. Rumble! Although the huge elder struggled with all his might, it was useless and his movements were getting smaller and smaller. Start condensing! One of the old men from the Mo family shouted softly and the other nodded. The 2 of them moved their palms and dozens of flood dragons flew out of the pool of blood. They roared and pounced on Lu Ming and Mo Ying. What was different from before was that each of these bloodwater dragons had inscriptions flowing on their bodies. Clearly, they were more powerful. Elders, what are you doing? I'm a disciple of the Mo family. Mo Ying was shocked. However, the flood dragons did not stop and Mo Ying could only fight back. Bang! However, with just one move, Mo Ying was sent flying. Then, a bloodwater dragon coiled around Mo Ying, trying to drag her into the bloodwater pool. Elders, what are you doing? I'm Mo Ying, a disciple of the Mo clan. I'm here to receive the inheritance of my ancestor. Let me go! Mo Ying screamed in horror. Kill! Lu Ming shouted as he swept out with his long spear, causing the blood flood dragons to explode. Then, he grabbed the blood flood dragon on Mo Ying's body and squeezed it hard, causing it to explode. On both sides of the cave, the faces of the 2 Mo family elders changed. Their gazes towards Lu Ming were filled with killing intent. Blood refining array, kill! The 2 elders of the Mo family shouted loudly. The light of the inscription formation in the cave became even brighter. All of a sudden, hundreds of bloody flood dragons flew out and pounced on Lu Ming. Of course, these bloody flood dragons were only a few meters long and could not be compared to the huge flood dragon that was entangling the huge old man. Ha ha ha, little girl of the Mo family, don't expect to get out of here alive. What inheritance of your ancestor? They just want to use you to refine the Yinyu demonic leader. At this moment, the old man's laughter came from the bloodwater pool. Rumble. That sentence was like a clap of thunder that exploded in Mo Ying's heart. Her eyes were filled with disbelief as she screamed, "Use me to refine the Yinyu demonic leader? No, this is not true. I don't believe it. You don't believe it. The truth is right in front of you. Little girl, accept your fate. You have been deceived by a group of hypocrites." The old man in the bloodwater pool said. No, this is impossible. Elders, is this true? Mo Ying looked at the 2 elders of the Mo family. As a disciple of the Mo family, it is your honor to be able to sacrifice for the Mo family. Why don't you surrender now? The 2 elders of the Mo family said. Their faces were extremely cold and emotionless. Mo Ying staggered back as if she had been struck by lightning. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. The Mo family is despicable and shameless. They want to refine the blood and soul of a dragon into my body through the 2 of you. They want to refine me into a soulless, obedient puppet that only knows how to kill. No way, I will not surrender. The old man in the bloodwater pool roared. It's useless even if you don't surrender. This time, not only do we have a little girl with the cloud dragon bloodline, but we also have a kid who is more compatible with the dragon. With the two of them, we can definitely refine the Yinyu demonic leader. This is God's blessing for the Mo family. Yang Quan, this is your fate. Why don't you surrender now? One of the elders of the Mo family roared, "Fuck your head." The old man roared. Mo Ying's body trembled and her eyes were lifeless. It was as if her soul had been sucked away. It was fake. Everything in the past was fake. What genius of the Mo family? What key grooming? What ancestors' inheritance? It was all fake. The purpose of everything was to refine the Yinyu demonic leader. The reason was because of the cloud dragon bloodline in her body. No wonder the head of the Mo family invited Lu Ming in. He said that he would help her, but it was all nonsense. It was nothing more than that he had taken a fancy to Lu Ming's bloodline. Everything made sense. Boom. Boom. Lu Ming kept waving his long spear and blocking the bloodwater dragons. Mo Ying, cheer up. We don't need such a family. At most, we'll rebel. Lu Ming shouted. Mo Ying's body shook and then she recovered a little. She gritted her teeth and said loudly, "I'm the master of my own fate. I won't listen to other people's arrangements." Rebellious and stubborn. Become a part of the glory of the Mo family. Kill. The two elders of the Mo family roared and controlled the inscription formation. More bloodwater dragons flew out and pounced on the two. A bunch of hypocrites. Kill. Lu Ming shouted. Boom. His aura erupted like a volcano as a huge stone tablet appeared. 4 silver chakras were shining brightly on it. Lu Ming burst out with all his strength. Boom. The power of wind and fire gathered. With a sweep of his long spear, a large number of bloodwater dragons exploded. Level 4 King class bloodline. Who is this guy? An elder of the Mo family roared in shock. As far as he knew, there was no genius with level 4 King class bloodline in the entire Yin Moon Empire. Where did Lu Ming come from? Could he be a peerless genius from a medium-sized empire? No matter who he is, there's no way out today. Let's kill this guy first. The other elder of the Mo family roared. Okay, let's do it. The two elders of the Mo family pinched their hands. Roar. The huge bloodwater dragon that was entangling the elder let go of him and pounced on Lu Ming with a roar. Its aura was so strong that it shook heaven and earth. It gave people the feeling that it was much stronger than an ordinary martial artist at the 9th level of the martial arts Grandmaster realm. It was unstoppable. Lu Ming's pupils shrank. He was about to retreat, but suddenly he stopped. Buzz. Chapter 329. The 9 Dragons' bloodline roared to the sky. Although the 9 Dragons' bloodline was only a dozen meters long, it looked very small in front of the bloody flood dragon. However, as the bloodline of the 9 dragons roared, the bloody flood dragon suddenly stopped in the air. It looked at the bloodline of the 9 dragons with fear in its eyes. The giant serpent's body began to tremble violently. It let out a roar and turned around to flee. However, it was too late. The 9 dragons' bloodline roared and a strong devouring power burst out of its mouth. At the same time, the 9 dragons' bloodline twisted its body like a flash of lightning. It instantly reached the top of the bloody flood dragon's head and shrouded it with a strong devouring power. The bloody flood dragon was terrified. It kept roaring and its huge body kept twisting. However, the 9 dragons' bloodline steadily stopped at the top of the bloody flood dragon's head and kept bursting out its devouring power. Roar. The blood flood dragon roared as a flood dragon's soul was extracted from the body of the flood dragon that was condensed from blood. The first thing that appeared was the head of the flood dragon's soul. It kept roaring and wanted to shrink back, but it was useless under the devouring power of the 9 dragons' bloodline. It was being extracted bit by bit. What's going on? What the hell is going on? An elder of the Mo family shouted in disbelief. Kill him! Kill him! The two elders of the Mo family gnashed their teeth and desperately urged the inscription formation to get rid of the Nine Dragons bloodline and kill Lu Ming. Unfortunately, the huge bloody flood dragon was like a mouse meeting a cat when it encountered the Nine Dragons bloodline. It did not dare to resist at all. The flood dragon's soul was constantly being extracted. Soon, more than half of the flood dragon's soul had been extracted. Boy, what are you doing? Why don't you stop? Stop right now. You're destroying the Mo family's 1,000-year plan. Do you know that? Stop right now. The two elders of the Mo family shouted hysterically. Haha, you two old dogs. You've lived for so long. Have you been living like dogs? Stop. And then use my life to complete the Mo family's 1,000-year plan? Have you fucking lost your IQ? And what's the Mo family's 1,000-year plan? What does it have to do with me? In my eyes, it's all trash. Lu Ming let out a long howl. The words of the two Mo family elders were simply too ridiculous. You are courting death. The two Mo family elders' shriveled faces flushed red, as if they were about to bleed from anger. They were the Mo clan's grand elders and were usually high and mighty. When had anyone dared to scold them like this? I'll kill this brat first. An elder of the Mo family roared. He temporarily stopped controlling the inscription formation and was about to attack Lu Ming. However, as soon as he stopped controlling the inscription formation, the old man in the pool of blood went berserk, and the underground cave began to shake. Damn it! The elder of the Mo family was unwilling, but he could only fly back to continue controlling the inscription array. Roar! At this moment, the Nine Dragons bloodline let out an earth-shattering roar. Its devouring power suddenly increased, and the blood flood dragon's soul was pulled out. The flood dragon's soul roared again and again. Terrified, it struggled with all its might. No. Stop. The two elders of the Mo family roared. However, the Nine Dragons bloodline opened its mouth and sucked the flood dragon soul into its mouth, disappearing without a trace. The Nine Dragons bloodline revealed a satisfied expression and flew back into Lu Ming's body. Damn it, let go of the flood dragon soul quickly. The two elders of the Mo family screamed crazily like ghosts. Let go. You think too much. Lu Ming sneered. Boom. At this moment, the underground cave began to shake violently. The pool of blood in the pool of blood surged violently. Clang. The sound of iron chains colliding violently rang out. Not good. Quickly suppress old monster Yang Quan. The two elders of the Mo family screamed in horror and desperately controlled the inscription formation to suppress the old man in the pool of blood. But, bang! In the next moment, there was an explosion. A figure soared into the sky from the pool of blood. It was an old man in his 60s. His face was covered with a long beard, and his body was extremely burly. He seemed to be more than 2 meters tall. The figure that was dozens of meters tall was not his real body, but a human figure condensed by true chi. Several iron chains as thick as an arm wrapped around the burly old man's body and extended out from the pool of blood. When the burly old man moved, the iron chains clanged. Not good, Yang Quan is about to break free. The two elders of the Mo family screamed in horror. Ha ha ha, the heavens are helping me. Mo family, today, I, Yang Quan, swear that I will destroy your Mo family. The burly old man laughed maniacally. Kill him, quick. The two elders of the Mo family roared and gave up on controlling the inscription formation. A battle sword appeared in their hands and they slashed at Yang Quan. The sword chi whistled and was extremely shocking. Peak of the 8th martial ancestor realm, Lu Ming's eyes flickered. The two elders of the Mo family were terrifyingly strong. They were both at the peak of the 8th martial ancestor realm. A mere 8th martial ancestor realm wants to kill me? You overestimate yourself. Yang Quan laughed and waved his palms. Two terrifying palms struck out towards the two elders of the Mo family. Bang! Bang! With two explosions, the two elders of the Mo family screamed and their bodies flew out like cannonballs. They crashed heavily into the walls of the cave and vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Clang! Yang Quan waved his palms and caused the iron chains to collide. A total of 4 iron chains bound him. He was too strong. Even when he was bound by the iron chains, he was still able to injure the two elders of the 8th martial ancestor realm. His strength was terrifying. You want to bind me with a few pieces of scrap metal? Break! Yang Quan shouted, and a terrifying true qi burst out from his body as he pulled with all his might. Rumble! The entire cave shook violently and the ground trembled, producing deep rumbling sounds. Not good, Yang Quan is about to break free. Run! The two elders of the Mo family were so frightened that their faces turned pale. They turned around and ran towards the exit. Break! Yang Quan suddenly shouted loudly. He grabbed one of the iron chains and suddenly pulled it. Clang! The iron chain that was as thick as an arm broke into two. This was not an ordinary iron chain but a rare black iron with inscriptions carved on it. However, it still broke with a single pull. You want to leave? Go and die! Yang Quan shouted. With a swing of his arm, a broken chain flew out and shot towards the two Mo family elders. Its speed was as fast as lightning, and it instantly caught up to the two Mo family elders. Block! The two elders of the Mo family roared and each used their strongest move. However, the difference was too big. Bang! Bang! Two rumbling sounds could be heard and the two elders' attacks were destroyed. A section of the iron chain crashed into their bodies. Catcher! The sound of bones breaking could be heard. The two elders of the Mo family screamed and flew out. They fell heavily on the ground and were no longer breathing. At this moment, the entire Mo family was in chaos. Just a moment ago, when Yang Quan broke the iron chain, the entire ground of the Mo family shook violently as though there was an earthquake. What is going on? Many disciples of the Mo family panicked. The patriarch of the Mo family and a few elders were guarding the stone house. Other than them, there were a few more people. One of them was the young prince, Yin Jufeng. Beside Yin Jufeng, there were a few elders with powerful auras. At this moment, the patriarch of the Mo family's face changed drastically. Not good, there is a problem underground. Chapter 330. Quick, gather the clan's experts and get ready, the Mo family patriarch roared, his voice echoing throughout the Mo family. Whoosh! Whoosh! One figure after another flew toward the Mo clan from every corner. They were all martial ancestor realm experts. As one of the top 10 families of the Yin Moon Empire, the Mo family's strength was not to be underestimated. Apart from the martial ancestor realm experts, there were also some martial grandmasters gathering. In an instant, the front of the stone house was filled with figures. In the underground cave break, Yang Quan roared, his genuine qi bursting forth like an ancient giant beast struggling. Clang! 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 3 crisp sounds were heard as the remaining 3 chains were broken by Yang Quan. Ha ha ha, after being trapped for more than 10 years, I'm finally free. Mo family, accept my revenge. Yang Quan laughed maniacally, his face revealing a sinister expression. After a while, he turned his gaze towards Lu Ming and Mo Ying. Swoosh! His figure moved and instantly appeared a few meters in front of Lu Ming and Mo Ying. Ah! Mo Ying cried out in fright and involuntarily took 3 steps back. Lu Ming did not move, but his pupils constricted. He held his spear in front of him, ready to fight. Haha, little girl, what are you afraid of? You saved me, why would I make things difficult for you? Yang Quan grinned at Mo Ying. Following which, he looked at Lu Ming and a look of surprise flashed in his eyes. Little brother, it's all thanks to you that I was able to escape this time. This is a huge favor and I have to repay it. However, now is not the time to talk about this. Let me exterminate the Mo family first before we talk about this. After speaking, Yang Quan laughed and strode towards the exit. Lu Ming's eyes flickered as he said, let's go out too. He and Mo Ying followed closely behind the old man and walked out. When he passed by the corpses of the 2 elders of the Mo family, Lu Ming silently devoured the blood essence of the 2 elders. The 3 of them walked forward. Soon, they walked out of the underground cave and returned to the stone house. Boom! Yang Quan struck out with his palm, and the stone door of the stone house exploded. Shattered rocks flew everywhere, and a series of exclamations came from outside. Looks like they're all waiting outside. Great, I don't need to look for them. Yang Quan grinned, his eyes filled with killing intent as he strode out. Lu Ming and Mo Ying followed. As soon as he walked out of the stone house, Lu Ming's expression changed. Outside, there were hundreds of people densely packed together. All of them had strong auras. They were all experts. The weakest among them was a martial Grand Master, Yang Quan. Seeing the three of them, the Mo family's patriarch and several elders' faces changed drastically, and they cried out involuntarily. Set up the formation, quickly, an elder screamed. Whoosh, whoosh. Their figures flashed wildly as at least a few dozen martial arts grandmasters flashed and formed a battle formation. At the front of the battle formation was the Mo family head and a few elders. Mo Ying, how audacious of you! How dare you release the devil suppressed by the clan? This is unforgivable. The head of the Mo family shouted. Mo Ying's delicate body trembled. They were the ones who deceived Mo Ying and wanted to use her life to refine the Dark Moon demonic leader. However, as soon as they came out, the head of the Mo family pinned the crime of releasing the devil suppressed by the Mo family on Mo Ying. How shameless. Patriarch, you lied to me. There is no ancestors' inheritance below. You want my life, Mo Ying said in a trembling voice. Shut up, little bitch. You're wrong. How dare you talk back? Kneel down and accept your death. The head of the Mo family shouted, not allowing Mo Ying to talk back. He was no longer as amiable as before. Mo Ying's face was pale, and her delicate body trembled non-stop. She bit her lips so hard that they bled, but she did not realize it. Originally, she still had a glimmer of hope for the Mo family, but now, she was in despair. Ha, old man, you lied to your own disciple, saying that you're inheriting the ancestors' inheritance. In fact, you just want the life of a junior to refine the Dark Moon demonic leader. Even now, you're still so dignified. Are you a fucking dog? Don't you have any shame? Lu Ming laughed and pointed at the head of the Mo family. Little bastard, what did you say? How dare you talk to me like that? The head of the Mo family roared, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. What the fuck are you? Do I have to give you face when I speak? Don't flatter yourself. Lu Ming smiled faintly and looked at the head of the Mo family with contempt, as if he was really looking at a pile of dog shit. This kind of gaze almost made the head of the Mo family vomit blood. He was so angry that his body trembled non-stop. Ha, little brother, you've scolded well. The whole Mo family is a pile of dog shit, haha. Yang Quan laughed. Damn it, Lu Ming, you actually destroyed the refining of the Dark Moon demonic leader and ruined the plan of the Yinyu royal family. Even if you die 10,000 times, you can't make up for it. At this time, a scream filled with resentment sounded. It was Yin Ju Feng. Oh, isn't this the little prince? Why aren't you going home to drink milk? Do you want to be beaten again? Lu Ming curled his lips and said. This sentence almost caused Yin Ju Feng to suffer internal injuries. Lu Ming, if I don't kill you today, I swear I'm not a human. Yin Ju Feng shouted furiously. If I remember correctly, you also shouted like that last time. Why? Are you still a human? Lu Ming sneered. Ah. You, kill him for me. Yin Ju Feng's face turned pale and he almost exploded with anger. Kill. Behind Yin Ju Feng, two old men shouted and were about to pounce on Lu Ming. Who can you kill? Yang Quan shouted coldly and threw out a punch. Bang! Bang! The two old men exploded and Yin Ju Feng screamed in fear. Under the protection of the remaining two old men, he retreated. Let's attack together and suppress old demon Yang Quan. The head of the Mo family roared. Suppress old demon Yang Quan. Everyone from the Mo family shouted. More than 30 martial ancestor realm experts formed a large array and charged towards Yang Quan. Good timing. Today, I'll settle the score with the Mo family. Yang Quan shouted and charged towards the Mo family. Kill. Yang Quan shouted and his aura was shocking. He was like a demon god. He threw out a punch and a dazzling fist force charged towards the Mo family. Lu Ming could feel that Yang Quan's aura was no weaker than the sect leaders of the 5 major sects in the Burning Sun Empire. He was at the limit of a martial ancestor and was known as a half-king. 100 sword array, kill. The Mo family did not dare to be careless. More than 30 of them joined forces and their auras merged to form a huge sword that was a few hundred meters tall and slashed towards Yang Quan. Boom! The huge sword and the fist radiance collided and there was a loud explosion. The entire Mo family shook violently and some of the buildings nearby were blown into pieces by the shockwave. They were evenly matched in this exchange. Kill. Immediately, Yang Quan and the Mo family started fighting again. Kill. Kill this little bastard for me right now. Yin Jufeng shouted. Shoosh. Shoosh. Behind Yin Jufeng, the remaining 2 old men charged towards Lu Ming and they exuded a powerful aura. 8th Martial Ancestor Realm. Chapter 331. Now, let's see who can save you. Yin Jufeng looked ferocious. However, there was a smile on Lu Ming's face. He stood there motionless. Roar. At this moment, there was a loud roar in the sky. A tall and burly figure fell from the sky and landed heavily between Lu Ming and the 2 elders, creating a large hole in the ground. Golden-eyed blood zombie. This tall figure was actually the golden-eyed blood zombie. I've finally arrived. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. Just now, when he came out of the stone house, he noticed the abnormality of the demon suppression token and found that the golden-eyed blood zombie was in the vicinity of Su Tiancheng, probably looking for him. He was not surprised that the golden-eyed blood zombie could escape from the assassins of the Yin Moon Empire. The golden-eyed blood zombie had reached the early 9th level of the martial ancestor realm and its body was like a diamond. If it wanted to escape, even a half-step King Realm expert might not be able to kill it. When Lu Ming found that the golden-eyed blood zombie was nearby, he immediately used the demon suppression token to summon the golden-eyed blood zombie. He also deliberately chatted with Yin Jufeng to delay time until the golden-eyed blood zombie finally arrived. Golden-eyed, kill them, Lu Ming ordered. Roar. The golden-eyed blood zombie roared and pounced. Peng. Peng. In just one move, the 2 elders of the 8th level of the martial ancestor realm that Yin Jufeng brought flew back screaming. There was a claw wound on each of their bodies. Where the claw had clawed, the flesh and blood had disappeared, revealing the white bones. It was extremely horrifying. This scene was too sudden and Yin Jufeng was stunned. Mo Ying, who was beside Lu Ming, was also stunned. She found that she could not see through Lu Ming at all. Since the first time she saw Lu Ming had brought her a series of surprises since Lu Ming said that she was divided into yin and yang. In her opinion, Lu Ming was a mystery, an unfathomable mystery. Now, there were experts of the 9th level of the martial ancestor realm that obeyed him. Monster, go, take the young master away, an elder roared. He wanted to rush over and take Yin Jufeng away, but it was too late. The golden-eyed blood zombie roared angrily and rushed out. He waved his claws and the claw light slashed out like a few heavenly blades. Poochie. In just a few moves, the 2 old men were torn in half by the golden-eyed blood zombie. Ah! Yin Jufeng screamed in fright, his face was as white as paper, his body trembling. The 4 experts that his father had sent to help him had been killed just like that, leaving him all alone. It's your turn now. Lu Ming smiled at Yin Jufeng. But Lu Ming's smile, in Yin Jufeng's eyes, was more terrifying than the devil. Patriarch Mo, save me, Yin Jufeng screamed in a hoarse voice. But the Mo family head didn't even look at him. What a joke. Save him. Right now, the Mo family was locked in battle with Yang Quan. They couldn't even take care of themselves, so how could they have the time to save him? It seems that no one will come to save you. Lu Ming smiled again, walking step by step towards Yin Jufeng. No, Lu Ming, don't kill me. My father is the Zhennan king, he has a lot of troops. If you kill me, you will also die, and, Yin Jufeng screamed. And what? Last time, I let you go because of the Mo family. This time, you want to use the Mo family to threaten me? And, you have tried to kill me many times, how can I let you go? Lu Ming's face finally turned cold. No. Yin Jufeng screamed and turned to run. But Lu Ming flicked his finger and a spear light shot out, piercing through Yin Jufeng's back. Yin Jufeng screamed, lying on the ground, screaming again and again, but he was not dead yet. Lu Ming walked over and squatted down to look at Yin Jufeng. Save me, save me. Yin Jufeng struggled, blood flowing out of his mouth. Save you? I will tell you another secret, then you will not ask me to save you. I have another name, Tianyun. Lu Ming smiled faintly, whispering in Yin Jufeng's ear. What? Yin Jufeng's pupils suddenly widened, revealing a look of despair. He growled, Champion. Champion. Before he could say the word Marquis, he had already died. The Burning Sun Empire's champion Marquis Tianyun, there was no one in the Yin Moon Empire who did not know him. He had killed several powerful legions of the Yin Moon Empire. His name was known throughout the Yin Moon Empire. When Yin Jufeng heard that it was Tianyun, in despair, he breathed his last. All around, the great martial masters of the Mo family looked at Lu Ming in horror, not daring to attack. Boom. Boom. Between heaven and earth, there was only the sound of Yang Quan and the Mo family's battle echoing. The battle between Yang Quan and the Mo family was still going on, and it was hard to tell who would win. It had to be said that the 100-sword battle formation set up by the Mo family was indeed powerful. With the combination of more than 30 martial ancestor realm experts and the Mo family's master's cultivation of the 9th level of the martial ancestor realm, they were actually able to fight Yang Quan to a draw. Roar. At this moment, the golden-eye blood zombie growled beside Lu Ming, his eyes constantly looking in the direction of the stone house. You want to absorb the blood? Lu Ming understood what the golden-eye blood zombie meant. The golden-eye blood zombie was very eager for the dragon blood in the underground cave. Go. Lu Ming whispered. Swish. Receiving Lu Ming's order, the golden-eye blood zombie rushed into the underground cave with a swish. On the other hand, Lu Ming stood still and watched the battle while refining the blood essence. Lu Ming's body had devoured the essence blood of several 8th-level martial ancestor realm experts. It was too thick. The essence blood was constantly converted into energy and refined into genuine qi. Lu Ming began to attack the 4th level of the martial ancestor realm. Rumble. Soon, a dull sound came from Lu Ming's body. He had broken through to the 4th level of the martial ancestor realm. Just as Lu Ming broke through to the 4th level of the martial ancestor realm, the 9 dragons' bloodline suddenly roared and rushed out of Lu Ming's body, roaring to the sky. At the same time, the 9 dragons' bloodline's body shape rapidly changed. It was originally a python that was more than 10 meters long. Now, it was rapidly growing longer and thicker. The scales on its body became more crystal clear. Then, 4 claws grew out of the python's abdomen, just like dragon claws. 2 horns grew out of the top of its head. A dragon. This was the shape of a dragon. The 9 dragons' bloodline had evolved. After the 9 dragons' bloodline had devoured a shocking amount of essence blood and the dragon's soul, it had finally begun to evolve. From the python form, it had evolved into the dragon form. Roar. The dragon form of the 9 dragons' bloodline roared to the sky. The dragon's roar reverberated and a bright silver chakra appeared on its body. Level 1 King class bloodline. Around them, the martial grandmasters and Mo Ying of the Mo clan were all dumbfounded. Even the Mo family's martial grandmasters and Yang Quan, who were in the midst of the battle, looked at Lu Ming in shock. The bloodline could evolve. From the mortal class to the king class? This was too shocking. It was simply unheard of. There were no records of this in the ancient books. This young man is too extraordinary. Chapter 332. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. The evolution of the 9 dragons' bloodline was too sudden. He could not control it at all. If it was possible, he would not have chosen to evolve his bloodline at this moment. All of you, retreat quickly. Send this news to the South Protecting King and the royal family. This person is a demon. He must be killed. The head of the Mo clan roared at the martial grandmaster realm warriors. A bloodline evolving, this was simply unheard of. It was too shocking. Since such a person was already an enemy, he could not be allowed to live. This was the Mo clan head's thought. Let's go. There were over 100 martial grandmasters rushing in all directions at this moment. Since that is the case, all of you will stay here. Lu Ming muttered, his eyes emitting a terrifying killing intent. The Nine Dragons' bloodline must not be exposed. Although this place was very far away from the headquarters of the Heavenly Deity Palace, it was better to be safe than sorry. If the characteristics of the Nine Dragons' bloodline were to reach Martial Monarch Die, it would be a great disaster for him. These people had to die. Lu Ming soared into the sky. Behind him, the Nine Dragons' bloodline appeared. A wriggling dragon that was 100 meters long was suspended above Lu Ming's head. Roar! The Nine Dragons' bloodline roared at the sky, and a strong devouring power burst out from its mouth. The strength of this devouring power was dozens of times stronger than before the evolution. The mouth of the Nine Dragons' bloodline was like a black hole. A terrifying devouring power spread out, enveloping over 100 martial grandmasters. More than 100 warriors in the great martial mentor realm seemed to have been frozen in place. Then, they revealed extremely terrified expressions. The power of my bloodline is flowing away. Not good, I feel like my essence blood is being sucked out. The 100 martial grandmasters let out terrified cries. Devour! A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes as he shouted softly. Roar! The Nine Dragons' bloodline roared, and the devouring power in its mouth became even stronger. Following that, a terrifying scene occurred. Over 100 martial grandmasters, all kinds of blood vessels floated above their heads. These blood vessels let out a mournful wail and actually left their masters. They flew towards the Nine Dragons' blood vessels and were swallowed by the Nine Dragons' blood vessels. My bloodline power has been devoured. A blood-curdling scream rang out, but the next moment, the scream abruptly stopped. This was because 9 drops of blood essence flew out from each person's body and were devoured by the Nine Dragons' bloodline. More than 100 people were lying flat on the ground, no longer breathing. The scene was completely silent. Even the great battle between the Mo clan's martial ancestors and Yang Quan had temporarily stopped. Everyone stared at Lu Ming, dumbfounded. Their eyes were filled with horror and disbelief. A single roar from his bloodline had actually devoured the bloodline power and blood essence of over 100 people. What kind of ability was this? He was simply a demon. Demon, you are a demon. Someone from the Mo family shouted. What demon? In my opinion, your Mo clan is the real devil. All of you deserve to die. Kill. Yang Quan roared as he charged towards the Mo family. The two sides once again engaged in a fierce battle. Mo Ying looked at Lu Ming in horror. I never thought that after the Nine Dragons' bloodline evolved to the king level, its devouring power would be so terrifying that it could directly devour living people. Even Lu Ming himself was shocked. In the past, it could only devour the blood essence of those who had died in battle. Now that the Nine Dragons' bloodline had evolved to the king level, it could even devour living people. Those martial artists were only martial masters. I wonder if it would be effective against martial artists above the martial ancestor realm? At the thought of this, Lu Ming cast his gaze towards the Mo clan's martial ancestor realm experts. Let's give it a try. Immediately, Lu Ming controlled the Nine Dragons' bloodline and the terrifying devouring power enveloped the Mo clan's martial ancestor realm experts. Immediately, some of the martial ancestor realm experts with lower cultivation levels trembled and their bloodline power became unstable. What kind of power is this? The martial ancestor realm experts roared as their genuine chi exploded wildly to resist Lu Ming's devouring power. It is more effective against martial artists below the 4th martial ancestor realm as it can affect the stability of the bloodline. It is also effective against martial artists above the 4th martial ancestor realm, but it is relatively less effective. In an instant, Lu Ming came to a conclusion. For martial artists with lower cultivation levels than him, it was still effective. It could affect the circulation of their bloodline, but it could not devour their blood essence and bloodline power like a martial grandmaster. It would be blocked. For martial artists with a higher cultivation level than Lu Ming, it was also effective, but the effect was relatively small. However, it was not to be underestimated. If his opponent's bloodline and blood essence were affected in a big battle, their combat strength would be greatly reduced. Be careful. At this moment, the Mo clan head roared. Due to the influence of Lu Ming's bloodline's devouring power, the Mo clan's 100-sword battle formation became unstable. Yang Quan seized the opportunity to attack fiercely and was at a disadvantage. The Mo clan will be destroyed today. Yang Quan roared as his attacks were like a tidal wave. Hold on, hold on. Yang Quan has been suppressed for more than 10 years and is heavily injured. This is only a temporary eruption. He won't be able to hold on for long. When he can't hold on any longer, it will be our time to counterattack. At that time, everything will still be under our control. The Mo clan head roared. Everyone from the Mo clan calmed down and used all of their strength to stabilize the situation. Yang Quan's face was somewhat gloomy. His situation was indeed as the Mo clan head had said. He had been suppressed for too long and suffered all kinds of torture. There were many hidden injuries on his body. Now, he was only using a secret technique to erupt with his peak strength. However, he wouldn't be able to hold on for long. Once the secret technique's duration was up, he would fall into a passive situation. Immediately, Yang Quan used all of his strength and attacked with all his might. Haha, Yang Quan can't hold on any longer. Just as I guessed, we can hold on. The Mo clan head laughed and revealed a joyful expression. Boom. At this moment, a huge explosion sounded from the ground behind the stone house. Following which, a blood-colored pillar of light shot out from the ground and pierced through the clouds. Shua. Following which, a tall and sturdy figure rushed out from the blood-colored pillar of light. Golden-eyed blood zombie. This figure was the golden-eyed blood zombie that had gone to the underground cave to absorb the flood dragon's blood. However, the aura emitted by the golden-eyed blood zombie was extremely terrifying. It was not any weaker than Yang Quan's. This was the aura of a half-step king. Who would have thought that after absorbing the flood dragon's blood, the golden-eyed blood zombie would advance from the 9th level of the martial ancestor realm to the half-step king level? Furthermore, it had only taken such a short time. After being stunned for a moment, Lu Ming was overjoyed. Golden-eyed, kill them. Lu Ming pointed at the Mo clan members. Roar. The golden-eyed blood zombie roared and pounced towards the Mo clan members. Not good, block it, block it. The Mo clan head's face changed drastically. Ha ha ha, the heavens want your Mo clan to die. Die. How could Yang Quan miss this opportunity? He laughed heartily and attacked the Mo clan members. Devour. Lu Ming controlled the 9 dragons bloodline again and a powerful devouring force was used on the Mo clan members. Boom. Boom. 2 explosions sounded. Following which, screams rang out. Some of the Mo clan members who were only at the 1st or 2nd level of the martial ancestor realm were directly killed by the terrifying energy. Even those with higher cultivation were greatly shaken. Chapter 333. Under the combined attacks of Yang Quan, Goldeneye Blood Zombie, and Lu Ming, the 100-sword battle formation of the Mo family collapsed. 7 or 8 martial ancestor realm 1st and 2nd realm experts were instantly killed. Not good. Run, run. At this moment, the Mo family head was terrified as he roared crazily. The 100-sword battle formation had been broken and the other side had 2 half-step king realm experts. There was no need to fight. If they stayed, they would definitely die. After the Mo family head roared, he turned into a ray of light and fled crazily into the distance. You want to leave? No one can leave. Yang Quan roared as he chased after the Mo family head. In a few breaths, he caught up with the Mo family head. Yang Quan. The Mo family head roared as he launched a frenzied counterattack. However, the difference between an ordinary martial ancestor realm 9th realm and a half-step king was obvious. In just a few moves, the Mo family head was beaten until he coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. Die. Yang Quan shouted as he grabbed the head of the Mo clan's patriarch and twisted it, twisting his head off. Ha ha ha. Kill, kill, kill. Yang Quan roared with laughter as he continued to chase after the others. Whoosh, whoosh. On the other side, Lu Ming's long spear was constantly thrusting. Streaks of spear radiance shot out and pierced a few martial ancestor realm 3rd and 4th realm Mo family martial artists into sieves. The goldeneye blood zombie's body flashed rapidly as it waved its claws and tore the Mo family martial ancestor realm experts into pieces. This was a massacre. The Mo family martial ancestor realm experts were as weak as babies in front of the GoldenEye blood zombie and Yang Quan. Even if there were some who managed to escape, they would be caught and killed. Lu Ming did not have the slightest bit of mercy. The Dark Moon Empire and the Burning Sun Empire were at war and were originally enemies. Moreover, it was the Mo family who wanted to take his life first. Since they were enemies, there was no need to show mercy. Being merciful to the enemy was being cruel to oneself. Kill. Lu Ming held his long spear and fought while bathed in blood. He had broken through to the fourth realm martial ancestor realm. Martial ancestor realm experts were no threat to him. Little bastard, even if I die, I'll drag you down with me. A seventh martial ancestor realm elder from the Mo family roared as he charged towards Lu Ming. Roar. The 9 dragons' bloodline roared, and a terrifying devouring power acted on the old man, causing his body to slow down. Whoosh. Lu Ming rushed over, the long spear piercing through his heart, creating a large hole. A one-hit kill. Then, the essence blood and bloodline power all flew into the 9 dragons' bloodline's mouth. In the sky above the Mo family, screams rose and fell. Not far away, the Mo clan's martial masters, warriors, and even those with lower cultivations were frantically fleeing in all directions. Lu Ming did not kill these people. These people hadn't seen Lu Ming's bloodline evolve, and they posed no threat to him, so there was no need to kill them. At this moment, Su Tiancheng fell into a deathly silence. Countless people were hiding in their homes, trembling. After a while, the screams stopped. The dozens of martial arts grandmasters from the Mo family were all killed. Roar. The golden-eyed blood zombie roared. Blood chi rose from his body, and his body turned red. However, his eyes were even more dazzling. Mo Ying stood there in a daze as she scanned her surroundings. Corpses came into her sight, and her eyes were filled with complicated emotions. In this short period of time, her life had undergone earth-shaking changes. These people were the elders of the Mo family that she respected. However, she suddenly found out that these people were just using her. For a moment, she found it hard to accept. Lu Ming did not speak. He just stood there quietly. After a while, Lu Ming said, "Miss Mo Ying, I'm leaving. What are your plans?" Although Mo Ying had seen his bloodline evolve, he could not do such a thing as killing Mo Ying to silence her. Mo Ying's body trembled, and she seemed to have come to her senses. She squeezed out an ugly smile and said, "Brother Lu, I plan to leave the Yin Moon Empire and travel the world." Lu Ming nodded and said, "That's good too." Lu Ming knew that Mo Ying held a grudge against him. After all, Mo Ying was a member of the Mo family. Lu Ming had killed so many people from the Mo family. It was normal for Mo Ying to hold a grudge against him. Therefore, Lu Ming did not invite Mo Ying to go with him. "Brother Lu, we'll meet again if fate wills it," Mo Ying said softly. She glanced at the Mo family, then turned into a ray of light and disappeared into the sky. "Haha, little brother, I can't bear to part with you." At this moment, Yang Quan appeared beside Lu Ming. "No, I'm just lamenting. Sometimes, fate is unpredictable," Lu Ming said with a smile. "That's right. Fate is unpredictable. That's why we have to cultivate martial arts to break the shackles of fate and fight against the heavens." Yang Quan grinned and said, "Little brother, this time, it's all thanks to your help that I was able to escape. If you have any requests, feel free to ask. As long as it's within my means, I'll do my best." Lu Ming shook his head and said with a smile, "Senior, you're being too polite. It's just a coincidence. That won't do. In my life, I've always repaid kindness with kindness and hatred with revenge. Otherwise, I won't feel at ease. This time, it's all thanks to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to escape and would have been refined into the Yinyu Devil Lord, sinking into oblivion forever. This is a great favor and I have to repay it," Yang Quan said stubbornly. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. To be honest, Yang Quan's combat strength was extremely powerful. It would be a lie to say that he did not want to ask Yang Quan for help. After pondering for a moment, Lu Ming said, "Senior, please stay by my side and help me for a period of time." "Is that possible?" "All right, I'll stay by your side and help you for 10 years. After 10 years, we'll be even. How about that? Yang Quan said. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He hurriedly cupped his fists and said, "Thank you, Senior." The current situation in the Burning Sun Empire was complicated. With Yang Quan's help and the GoldenEye blood zombie, Lu Ming had the strength to protect himself. Only then could he become a true overlord in the Burning Sun Empire. He would also have the strength to contend with the 10 Direction Sword faction. One had to know that in the Burning Sun Empire, a half-step king was the strongest. The Burning Sun Empire had not produced a true king for several hundred years. Yang Quan grinned. In fact, Yang Quan was also extremely curious about Lu Ming. At such a young age, not only was he extremely powerful, but he also had a powerful existence like the GoldenEye blood zombie by his side. Yang Quan had lived for so long, but this was the first time he had encountered such a person. Senior, to be honest, I'm actually not from the Yinyu Empire, but from the Burning Sun Empire. Moreover, the Burning Sun Empire and the Yinyu Empire are currently at war. I wonder if Senior would mind. Lu Ming said. War between the two empires? It just so happens that the Yinyu Empire's royal family is despicable and shameless. They tried to assassinate me. I'm just about to settle the score with them. Heading to the Burning Sun Empire and killing the experts of the Yinyu Empire is exactly what I want. Yang Quan laughed. All right, then let's go, Lu Ming said. Subsequently, the GoldenEye blood zombie and Yang Quan turned into a ray of light and disappeared, heading towards the Moon City. On the way, Lu Ming roughly explained his identity and the current situation. Chapter 334. Yang Quan was not from the Yin Moon Empire. He was an outsider who had traveled to the Yin Moon Empire a dozen years ago. During that time, he had met a top expert from the Yin Moon Imperial family and the Mo family's previous family master. The three of them had a good relationship back then. However, the Mo family's previous family master and the Yin Moon Imperial family's previous family master were ambitious. They had secretly poisoned Yang Quan and then sealed him under the Mo family's ground. They wanted to refine him into a Yin Moon demonic leader. They had been sealed for more than a dozen years. If Lu Ming had not encountered this matter by chance, he would not have been able to escape the fate of being refined into a Yin Moon demonic leader. Along the way, Yang Quan's expression suddenly changed slightly as he revealed a bitter smile and said, "This old man has been suppressed for more than 10 years and has suffered heavy injuries. Earlier, I forcefully unleashed my secret technique. Now that the secret technique's duration has passed, I need to find a place to heal. Senior, healing is more important," Lu Ming said. They found a secluded place. Yang Quan sat down cross-legged and started to heal his injuries. Lu Ming asked the GoldenEye blood zombie to patrol the surroundings while he sat down cross-legged. He had devoured a large amount of blood essence and now it was time to refine it. Half of it was absorbed by his bloodline and the other half was converted into true qi. There were dozens of martial ancestors from the Mo family. Among them, there were a few martial ancestors of the 8th realm and the Mo family's family master, who was a martial ancestor of the 9th realm. How strong was the blood essence? Lu Ming's cultivation rose rapidly. One day later, Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak of the 4th realm of the martial ancestor realm. However, no matter how hard Lu Ming tried, he could not break through. Lu Ming knew that his cultivation had risen too quickly and his true qi was not pure. His foundation was not stable and he needed time to improve. Lu Ming then used the remaining blood essence to improve his bloodline. However, after refining all the blood essence, his 9 dragons bloodline was still at the 1st realm of the king bloodline. It was too difficult to improve his bloodline. At that moment, Yang Quan was still healing his injuries. His body was emitting a scorching red aura as he nurtured his body. Yang Quan's recuperation took 7 days. After 7 days, Yang Quan opened his eyes. "Senior, how do you feel?" Lu Ming asked. "After being suppressed for more than a decade, there are simply too many hidden injuries all over my body. It'll be difficult for me to make a full recovery in a short period of time. However, I've managed to stabilize my condition for the time being. It shouldn't be a problem for me to exert my full strength during the battle." As for the other hidden injuries, I should be able to make a full recovery soon. Yang Quan said. That's great. Lu Ming said with a smile. After that, the three of them continued their journey. With their speed, it only took half a day to return to Full Moon City. Of course, on the way, Lu Ming put on his mask again and returned to the appearance of Qianyun. The Marquis is back. When the Scarlet Blood cavalrymen in charge of patrolling the camp saw Lu Ming, they cried out in pleasant surprise. Then, the news of Lu Ming's return spread throughout Full Moon City at a crazy speed, causing a huge sensation. Whoosh! Whoosh! Two figures shot through the air at an extremely fast speed. It was Autumn Moon and Xian Yanqing. Young Master. Seeing Lu Ming, Autumn Moon was incomparably excited. She wasn't afraid of being shy and threw herself into Lu Ming's arms. Tears flowed down like pearls, and she cried like a pear blossom in the rain. Young Master, you're finally back. We saw the traces of the battle at the place where Golden Eye was cultivating. We thought you. Woo-woo, it's great that you're back. Autumn Moon cried loudly. Strings of tears flowed down, wetting Lu Ming's clothes. Silly girl, your young master is blessed. How could something happen to him so easily? Moreover, I can't bear to part with my family's Autumn Moon. Lu Ming stroked Autumn Moon's hair and said softly. Only then did Autumn Moon feel a little better. She left Lu Ming's arms, but her eyes were red and tears were still rolling. On the side, Xian Yanqing gritted his teeth when he saw this scene. He didn't say anything. Ph, you're so comfortable. You're so warm and soft as soon as you come back. After a while, Xian Yanqing gritted his teeth and said, Xiao Qing, now that my arms are empty, do you want to try? Lu Ming blinked and smiled. Try your head. It's good that you're not dead. Xian Yanqing continued to snort coldly. Haha, I still owe you a favor. How can I die before I complete it? Lu Ming laughed. Ph, it's good that you remember. Xian Yanqing snorted again. At this time, Hua Ying and the other Kai Xie cavalry warriors appeared one by one. Then, it was Ming Meng, Myongcheng, and the other two siblings. Greetings, Marquis. When they saw Lu Ming, they all bowed. No need to be so polite. Let's go back to the camp. Lu Ming waved his hand. On the way, Yang Quan saw the majestic Kai Xie cavalry and his eyes flashed with a strange light. However, Lu Ming frowned. Because he found that the entire camp was heavily guarded and the atmosphere was very heavy. Did another big battle happen recently? Hua Ying, how's the situation? Did another big battle happen? I feel that the atmosphere in the camp is not right. When they arrived at the camp, Lu Ming asked. Marquis, something big happened. This was Hua Ying's first sentence. His expression was very heavy. Lu Ming raised his eyebrows and looked around. He found that Ming Meng, Myongcheng, and the others all had heavy expressions. Lu Ming had a bad premonition and asked, Tell me, what happened? Marquis, the Ghost Moon Saber sect was destroyed. Hua Ying replied. What? Even with Lu Ming's calmness, his body shook violently and his eyes showed disbelief. The Ghost Moon Saber sect was one of the 5 great sects of the Blazing Sun Empire. It dominated the northern part of the Blazing Sun Empire and was incomparably powerful. How could such a powerful force be annihilated just like that? Even if the 10 Directions Sword sect attacked with all their strength, they might not be able to take down the Ghost Moon Saber sect. What the hell is going on? Lu Ming took a deep breath to calm himself down. Marquis, 10 days ago, the Yin Moon Empire sent out 2 million troops to invade the territory of the Ghost Moon Saber sect. The Ghost Moon Saber sect sent out a large number of experts to resist. However, they never expected that at this time, a large number of experts from the omnidirectional sword sect would launch a surprise attack on the Ghost Moon Saber sect. At the same time, a portion of the Ghost Moon Saber sect had already surrendered to the omnidirectional sword sect. They attacked the Ghost Moon Saber sect from the inside. Afterwards, the 10 Directions Sword sect sent out many experts to attack the Ghost Moon Saber sect's experts together with the Yin Moon Empire's experts. The Ghost Moon Saber sect was caught off guard and their experts were all killed. The Ghost Moon Saber sect was completely destroyed. Hua Ying explained. So that's how it is. I understand. This was a trap set from the beginning. Lu Ming suddenly understood. Obviously, the 10 Directions Sword Sect had cooperated with the Yin Moon Empire long ago. Therefore, the Yin Moon Empire's army attacked. Their goal was to attract the Ghost Moon Saber Sect's experts so that they could prepare to attack the Ghost Moon Saber Sect. Unfortunately, last time, the Yin Moon Empire had suffered great losses because of Lu Ming's sabotage. They did not attract many Ghost Moon Saber Sect's experts. Therefore, there were assassins who tried to assassinate Lu Ming. Moreover, there were people from the Shadow Wolf Pavilion among the assassins. After thinking about it, everything became clear. 10 Directions Sword Sect, you 10 Directions Sword Sect. Chapter 335. Marquis, the annihilation of the Ghost Moon Saber Sect has shaken the entire Burning Sun Empire. We're in the north, not far from the Ghost Moon Saber Sect. We're afraid that the Decimo Sword Sect will attack us, so we're on high alert. Hua Ying explained. After the annihilation of the Ghost Moon Saber Sect, the Yin Moon Empire's army has moved south and occupied a large part of the Burning Sun Empire's territory. I guess that's what the Decimo Sword Sect promised the Yin Moon Empire. They're really a bunch of traitors. Ming Meng gritted his teeth. Then, did the Decimo Sword Sect make any new moves during this period? Lu Ming asked. Not yet. Hua Ying said. Pay attention to the news from the outside world. The Decimo Sword Sect's actions have shaken the entire empire. The other sects will definitely join forces. This isn't good news for the Decimo Sword Sect. So, the Decimo Sword Sect will definitely make a big move. Lu Ming analyzed. At this moment, Ming Meng's expression changed slightly. He moved his hand and a jade token appeared. This was a 1,000 miles voice transmission talisman. Usually, a general would have one to send messages. When Ming Meng saw the message from the 10,000 miles sound transmitting talisman, his body shook violently. His face suddenly became incomparably pale, without a trace of blood. How could this be? Ming Meng roared, his eyes were filled with disbelief. Brother Ming, what's going on? Lu Ming asked hurriedly. He had a bad feeling in his heart. The Sky Suppressor rebelled. He led the army to break into the imperial capital and flattened the palace. The emperor was killed. Ming Meng said in a trembling voice. What? Ming Meng's words were like a bolt from the blue. Most of the people present, including Lu Ming, were shocked. Lu Ming, Hua Ying, and the others' faces turned pale. The Sky Suppressor, the Decimo Sword Sect. Lu Ming roared, his killing intent surging. The Sky Suppressor couldn't have done it alone. Needless to say, the Decimo Sword Sect was behind all this. Traitor, traitor, how dare the Sky Suppressor? How dare he? Hua Ying roared hysterically, his eyes red. He was a member of the imperial family. He almost went crazy. The Sky Suppressor's banner is to eliminate the incapable emperor and rebuild the Burning Sun Empire. Haha, how shameless. Ming Meng laughed in anger. Father, mother, Lu Ming's first, Lu Yuntian. How were Lu Yuntian and Li Ping doing in the general hall? At the thought of this, Lu Ming was burning with anxiety. Master, master, master and madam and the others. By the side, Qiu Yu grabbed Lu Ming's arm tightly. Her entire body was trembling slightly and she was extremely worried. Big brother Ming, is there any other news? Imperial family's emperor is alive. Lu Ming forced himself to calm down. He sect king from the sect. Ming sect. According to the news, the sky-suppressing king actually attacked. His Majesty and the experts of the royal family fought back with all their might. In the end, the 8th prince escaped with a group of people. However, after the 8th prince escaped from the royal capital, there was no news of him. Ming Meng said. Hua Kai escaped. Lu Ming's eyes lit up with a glimmer of hope. If Hua Kai escaped, he would definitely bring Lu Yuntian and Li Ping with him. Then, Lu Yuntian and Li Ping might be fine. 10 Directions Sword Faction, if anything happens to my parents, I swear I'll kill all of you. Lu Ming clenched his fists. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Marquis, what should we do now? From now on, my Jinyu army will listen to the Marquis. Ming Meng cupped his fists and knelt on one knee. Good. Lu Ming agreed without hesitation. Marquis Champion was of a higher rank than Ming Meng. It was normal for him to lead the mountain suppression army. Everyone, listen to my order. Lu Ming pondered for a moment and began to give the order. Please give your orders, Marquis. Hua Ying, Ming Meng and the others knelt on one knee. Full Moon City is located in the north. The Yinyu Empire is in the north and the Shifang Sword Sect is in the south. It is very unfavorable for us. We should not stay here for long. Ming Meng, you will lead the mountain suppression army to the east and head to the Wang Immortal Pass. The Wang Immortal Pass is easy to defend and difficult to attack. It is a natural stronghold and has always obeyed the orders of the royal family. We will not ally ourselves with the Shifang Sword Sect. Once we reach the Wang Immortal Pass, we can ally ourselves with the Mystic Essence Sword Sect and fight against the Shifang Sword Sect. Lu Ming ordered. He knew that the Burning Sun Empire was in chaos. There would definitely be a great war in the future. Yes, Marquis Champion, Ming Meng said. Also, 30,000 Red Blood Cavalry will follow me to the Imperial capital and save the 8th Prince. Lu Ming ordered. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Yes. Hua Ying and the others accepted the order loudly. Marquis, you can't. The Shifang Sword Sect is full of experts. It is too dangerous. Ming Meng's expression changed drastically as he objected. Although the Red Blood Cavalry was strong, they could only be used as vanguard. If the Shifang Sword Sect sent out experts to assassinate Lu Ming, it would be dangerous. The others also hesitated. Don't worry. I will kill every Shifang Sword Sect that I see. Lu Ming said coldly. Rumble. At this moment, a loud rumbling sound came from outside. Report, there is a large army coming from outside. A soldier came to report. It must be the Shifang Sword Sect. The Shifang Sword Sect is finally here. I knew that they would not leave us here. Ming Meng's expression changed. Good timing, Kaixia Cavalry, follow me into battle, Lu Ming ordered. Yes. Hua Ying and the others accepted the order loudly. Rumble. Not long after, Lu Ming rode on the red blood-scaled Wolf King, followed by Xian Yanqing, Qiu Yu, the golden-eyed blood zombie, Yang Quan, Hua Ying, Ming Meng, and the rest. He led 30,000 red blood-armored cavalry out of the military camp and arrived outside Full Moon City. In front of them, smoke and dust filled the air. A majestic army appeared in their line of sight. Black war horses, black armor, and black weapons. Between the heavens and the earth, a black torrent of steel spread over. A large flag with a divine sword embroidered on it fluttered in the wind. That is the Ghost Iron Army of the Ghost Moon Saber Sect. It seems that the Ghost Iron Army has already joined the Shifang Sword Sect. Ming Meng's expression changed. That large flag was the flag of the Shifang Sword Sect. Lu Ming nodded. After the Ghost Moon Saber Sect was destroyed, some of the army under the Ghost Moon Saber Sect had joined the Shifang Sword Sect. This was normal. Rumble. The Ghost Iron Army stopped a few miles away. Their aura was heavy and dense. Looking at their numbers, there should be no less than 100,000 people. Shua. Shua. A few figures flew out from the Ghost Iron Army and hovered in the air above Lu Ming and the others. There was a total of 3 people, an old man and 2 middle-aged men. They all carried battle swords on their backs. With one look, one could tell that they were experts of the Shifang Sword Sect. The 3 of them emitted an extremely powerful aura. A peak 8th Martial Ancestor Realm and 2 peak 7th Martial Ancestor Realm. Chapter 336. The 3 men from the Decimo Sword Sect glanced at Lu Ming and the others before fixing their eyes on Lu Ming. You're Tianyun? The leading old man asked. That's right. Lu Ming said indifferently. He wanted to see what they were up to. Tianyun, you've repeatedly gone against the Decimo Sword Sect and killed our geniuses. Do you know what you've done? The leading old man stared coldly at Lu Ming. Do I know what I've done? I haven't even told you that I've killed your bastards. How can I know what I've done? What's wrong with that? Lu Ming replied indifferently. He didn't take them seriously at all. You, the leading old man's face turned pale and he emitted a cold killing intent. After a while, he calmed down and waved his sleeve. Tianyun, there are no eternal enemies in the world. There are only eternal interests. Today, I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. As long as you lead the Red Blood Cavalry and submit to the Decimo Sword Sect and make a blood oath to be loyal to us, I'll consider letting you go. All the crimes you've committed in the past can be written off. After the old man finished speaking, everyone understood what he meant. Now that the Red Blood Army was powerful and famous in the Yinyu country and the Scorching Sun country, the Decimo Sword Sect was going to recruit Lu Ming. Lu Ming sneered. You want me to let you go? Who do you think you are? You're just an old bastard. Do you really think you're a big shot? Well, are you done talking nonsense? If you're done, you can die. Lu Ming glanced at the old man and lost his patience. Little bastard, since you refuse a toast, I'll kill you today. After killing you, the Red Blood Army will still belong to the Decimo Sword Sect. Die. The old man's face darkened completely. He shouted and slashed out with his sword. This slash revealed the old man's strength of the 8th martial ancestor realm. It had the power to break mountains and rivers. It was extremely shocking. Oh no, be careful. Ming Meng shouted. Young master, get out of the way. Marquis. On the autumn moon, Xian Yanqing, Hua Ying, and the others were all shocked. No matter how strong Lu Ming was, it was impossible for him to be a match for a martial artist at the peak of the martial arts Grandmaster realm. But Lu Ming rode on top of the crimson bloodscale Wolf King, motionless. Die. The old man revealed a ferocious expression. The sword light became even more resplendent as it rapidly slashed towards Lu Ming's head. Seeing that it was about to behead Lu Ming, the old man was overjoyed. What kind of peerless genius is that? What kind of genius is that? What kind of genius is that? You're still going to die in my hands. But as soon as he thought this, he saw a slap coming from beside Lu Ming. Bang! When this slap landed on his sword light, it was as if the sword light was made of tofu and instantly shattered. The old man was stunned. Ming Meng, Autumn Moon, and the others were also stunned. It's just a fly making a big fuss here. It's so annoying. Yang Quan appeared beside Lu Ming and said indifferently. That slap just now was naturally from Yang Quan. Who are you? I'm an elder of the Decimo Sword Sect. How dare you? The old man from the Decimo Sword Sect was stunned for a moment before he shouted. But before he could finish, Yang Quan slapped him again. Slap. No one could see how this slap was delivered. It was too fast. They only saw a blur before they heard a crisp slap. Then, they saw the old man from the Decimo Sword Sect cry out in pain as he was sent flying. In the air, his head was like a watermelon as it exploded with a bang. Red and white matter splattered everywhere. Ming Meng and the others almost bit their tongues as their eyes almost popped out. An expert at the peak of the martial arts Grandmaster realm was considered a top expert in the Blazing Sun Empire. In the 5 major sects, he was definitely a superior existence. His status was even higher than an ordinary golden-robed elder. Ordinary golden-robed elders were only at the martial arts Grandmaster realm. An expert at the peak of the martial arts Grandmaster realm was slapped to death with a single slap. That was too shocking. The old man beside Lu Ming was actually such a terrifying expert. Previously, when Ming Meng and the others saw Yang Quan, they had only guessed that he was an ordinary martial arts Grandmaster. They had never expected him to be so terrifying. Then, they looked at Lu Ming with even more respect. How did Lu Ming manage to have such a person by his side? The remaining 2 burly men from the Decimo Sword Sect were scared out of their wits. At that moment, they shouted and turned to run. You want to run away in front of me? How is that possible? Yang Quan laughed coldly as he threw out a punch. Boom! Boom! 2 bursts of fist force shot out. The 2 burly men at the peak of the martial arts Grandmaster realm were drowned by the fist force. When the fist force disappeared, there was nothing left of the 2 burly men. Yang Quan had easily taken care of 2 experts at the peak of the martial arts grandmaster realm. Once again, everyone was dumbfounded. Only Lu Ming was an exception. What a waste, what a waste. Lu Ming was heartbroken. Yang Quan's punch had even burned their blood essence. How could Lu Ming not be heartbroken? Those were 2 experts at the peak of the martial arts grandmaster realm. The commotion here naturally shocked the Ghost Iron Army several miles away. Oh no, Tianyun has made his move. Kill them all. Of course, there were experts from the Decimo Sword sect in the Ghost Army. At that moment, they roared and led the army to charge at Lu Ming and the others. Charge, destroy them. Lu Ming shouted coldly. Roar, roar, roar. The crimson blood-scaled wolves howled and their roars shook the sky as they charged at the Ghost Army. Their aura was so strong that it shook the heavens and the earth. Oh no, the mounts are frightened. Charge, beast, hurry up and charge. The howls of the 30,000 crimson blood-scaled wolves frightened the mounts of the Ghost Army and caused their formation to become unstable. In a short while, the crimson blood-scaled wolves had reached them. Boom! The 2 armies slammed into each other. At that moment, the difference between the 2 armies was obvious. The Ghost Army was like a piece of paper while the crimson blood-scaled wolves were like a blade. As soon as they collided, the Ghost Army was torn apart and this gap was rapidly expanding. Hold on, you trash. An expert from the Decimo Sword sect shouted. What are you shouting for? At this moment, Yang Quan's figure appeared beside him. Ah! Help! Just as he was about to shout, his head was chopped off by Yang Quan. Yang Quan leaped through the army and killed the martial arts grandmaster expert. No one could stop him. A half-step king. Only a half-step king could stop him. It was simply cheating to kill a half-step king. The difference was too big and it was no longer something that could be solved by numbers. Unless there was a battle formation like the Mo family and dozens of martial arts grandmasters, they would be able to resist. Roar. Above Lu Ming's head, the 9 dragons' bloodline floated. With a loud roar, a terrifying devouring power erupted. Immediately, the power of bloodline and blood essence of hundreds of Ghost Legion soldiers were devoured. Wherever Lu Ming passed, corpses were left behind. This was a one-sided battle. The Ghost Army could not stop the crimson blood-scaled wolves at all. Chapter 337. I surrender, I surrender. Finally, someone from the Ghost Iron Legion shouted, throwing away his weapon and jumping off his horse. I surrender too. With the first, there was naturally a second, third, 10th, 100th. The Ghost Iron Legion originally belonged to the Ghost Moonsaber sect. It was already good enough that they didn't have any enmity towards the Shifang Sword sect. How could they be loyal? Seeing that the situation wasn't right, they naturally surrendered. Those who surrender will be spared. Lu Ming shouted, his voice resounding throughout the battlefield. Those who surrender will be spared. Ming Meng, Hua Ying, and the others also shouted. This time, more and more people surrendered. Large groups of people jumped off their horses and knelt on the ground. In the army, the people of the Shifang Sword sect saw that the situation was hopeless and wanted to escape, but they were all killed by Lu Ming and the others. In this battle, the 100,000 Ghost Iron Legion was destroyed without any effort. Ming Meng, I'll leave the surrendered Ghost Iron Legion to you. Bring them to the Wangxian Pass, they will be a powerful force in the future. Lu Ming ordered. Yes, Marquis. Ming Meng cupped his fists and accepted the order. On the side, Myong Cheng, Pearl, and Ming Peak had a complicated expression. This young man who used to cultivate with them in the Star General Hall had now completely surpassed them. Now, even their father had to listen to Lu Ming. However, they didn't have the slightest bit of jealousy. They only felt happy for Lu Ming and encouraged themselves. Kai Xie Cavalry, follow me to the imperial capital to rescue the 8th prince. Do you dare? Lu Ming waved his long spear and shouted. Dare, dare, dare. The 30,000 Kai Xie cavalry roared. Good, since you dare, then we will break through all the passes and kill our way to the imperial capital. If God blocks us, then we will kill God, if Buddha blocks us, then we will kill Buddha. Lu Ming shouted. Who is the Marquis? If God blocks us, then we will kill God, if Buddha blocks us, then we will kill Buddha. The 30,000 Kai-Xie cavalry felt their blood boiling as they waved their weapons and roared. At this moment, even Ming Meng, a veteran of many years, felt his blood boiling. He wished he could follow Lu Ming and kill to his heart's content. But he understood that he had more important things to do. Charge! Lu Ming waved his long spear. The crimson bloodscale wolf king let out a long howl and turned into a gust of wind, charging forward. Beside him, Mid-Autumn Moon, Xian Yanqing, Yang Quan, and the golden-eyed blood zombie followed closely behind. Charge! Immediately after, the howls of wolves rang out unceasingly. The 30,000 Kai-Xie cavalrymen followed Lu Ming and charged forward. It's windy, Ming Meng muttered to himself as he watched the 30,000 Kai-Xie cavalrymen leave. Immediately after, he also began to take action. He gathered his men, ordered some items, and led an army of more than 100,000 to the east, towards the immortal gazing pass. The crimson bloodscale wolf's speed was as fast as the wind, and it was not a problem for it to travel 1,000 miles in an hour. In a few hours, they had traveled 1,000 miles. Some of the cities along the way did not dare to obstruct the mighty Kai-Xie cavalrymen in the slightest. Their journey was smooth and unobstructed. After passing through dozens of big cities, they quickly approached the Yutong Pass. The Yutong Pass was a famous pass in the north of the Burning Sun Empire. The pass was surrounded by steep mountains that were thousands of meters high. The Yutong Pass happened to be in the middle of two peaks. It could be said that the Yutong Pass was guarded by one man against 10,000. In history, the Yin Moon Empire had conquered many cities in the north, but they were all blocked outside the Yutong Pass in the end. Now, the general guarding the Yutong Pass was called Wan Xiu. He had a cultivation of the 6th martial ancestor realm and led 120,000 soldiers to guard the Yutong Pass. He dominated dozens of big cities and could be said to be a big shot with great power and influence. Moreover, he had long since joined the Shifang sword sect. Thus, his prestige was even greater. In the entire Burning Sun Empire, he was considered a top figure. Wan Xiu had a hobby. He liked to set up banquets on the walls of the Yutong Pass and invite famous people to come. Just like this, standing on the walls of the Yutong Pass, overlooking the vast land and listening to the flattery of others, he felt like he was the ruler of the world and had thousands of miles of mountains and rivers. This feeling fascinated him. Today, he set up a banquet on the walls of the Yutong Pass and invited more than 10 city lords and martial experts of the nearby big cities to come to the banquet. Several tables were set up on the walls. Congratulations, General Wan. Congratulations, General Wan. A pot-bellied middle-aged man raised his wine cup and congratulated Wan Xiu. Patriarch Shen, what's the good news? Wan Xiu asked even though he already knew the answer. Haha, General Wan is so humble. Everyone knows the current situation. Not long ago, the Shifang sword sect destroyed the Ghost Moonsaber sect. A few days ago, Sky-suppressing King broke into the imperial capital and killed Hua Zhengxing. Now that there is a change of dynasty, it is certain. Now, the Sky Evil sect and the Shifang sword sect have joined forces and occupied the imperial capital. Now, only the Mystic Essence sword sect and the Crimson Cloud Valley can rival the Shifang sword sect. But in my opinion, the Mystic Essence sword sect and the Crimson Cloud Valley are no match for the Shifang sword sect. When the time comes, the Shifang sword sect will unify the Burning Sun Empire and become the ruler of the world. As a trusted subordinate of the Shifang sword sect, General Wan will prosper day by day. Isn't this worthy of congratulations? The pot-bellied middle-aged man laughed. Yes, Patriarch Shen is right. When the time comes, General Wan will rise to the top. Don't forget about us. At the banquet, other people also flattered Wan Xiu. This made Wan Xiu feel a little smug. He stroked a few strands of his sparse beard and couldn't stop smiling. Rumble. Suddenly, a dull rumbling sound came from the ground. The wine on the table started to sway slightly. Everyone's expression changed. Report. At this moment, A soldier in armor came to report quickly. What happened? Wan Shou asked. General, there might be an army coming from the north. The armored soldier reported. An army is coming? How is it possible? The Ghost Moon Saber sect has been destroyed. Now, the north is under the control of the Shifang Sword sect. Could it be the army of the Yin Moon Empire? Wan Shou's eyes moved as he pondered. Impossible. I heard that the Yin Moon Empire and the Shifang Sword sect have an agreement. They won't attack now. Then whose army is it? Wan Shou's eyes kept moving. General Wan, there is another army in the north. That is the Crimson Blood Army led by the Marquis Champion Tianyun and the Mountain Suppression Army led by Ming Meng. Could it be them? A city lord of a big city guessed. Hearing this, other people's expressions changed greatly. Tianyun. Could it really be Tianyun? It is said that the Crimson Blood Army led by Tianyun is extremely powerful and invincible. The Yin Moon cavalry is as weak as tofu in front of them. If it really is Tianyun's Crimson Blood Army, we should run for our lives. Another big city's city lord cried out in horror. Why are you panicking? People always like to exaggerate. In my opinion, Tianyun and his Scarlet Blood cavalry have been exaggerated. What do you mean by invincible? They've just won a few battles by luck. Moreover, even if it is true, so what? In front of the Yutong Pass, even the strongest army can't break through. Tianyun's Crimson Blood Army can only obediently retreat in front of my Yutong Pass. If he wants to attack, I will let him die without a burial place. Guards, set up the defense. Wan Shou was calm and composed. He sneered and gave the order. Soon, the Yutong Pass was filled with armored soldiers. That's right. The Yutong Pass cannot be broken through. I worried too much. The city lord of a big city let out a long breath. Rumble. The rumbling sound became louder. The whole world seemed to tremble. Roar. Roar. Chapter 338. There were countless crimson blood-scaled wolves. Each one of them was tall and strong, and each one was filled with killing intent. 30,000 crimson blood-scaled wolves, in addition to 30,000 martial master knights, gathered their auras together. That kind of aura was simply earth-shattering, like a tsunami a few hundred meters high, sweeping through the heavens and the earth, as if it could destroy everything. Wan Shou's pupils dilated, and he showed a terrified expression. This is the Crimson Blood Cavalry? His voice was trembling, and his face was pale. Cold sweat poured down from his forehead. The other castellans were also trembling, and their faces were pale. They were full of confidence a moment ago, and thought that Yutong Pass was unbreakable. But when they saw the situation in front of them, their confidence collapsed. The crimson blood-scaled wolves were too terrifying. Wan Shou had said that the outside world was exaggerating about the Crimson Blood Cavalry. Now, they only wanted to shout, "What exaggeration?" They were obviously looking down on the Crimson Blood Cavalry. "Block it, we must block it," Wan Shou shouted at the top of his lungs. Then, he turned around and ran away. "Wait for me." The other castellans also turned around and ran away. Since all the generals had left, there was no suspense in this battle. Yutong Pass's dangerous terrain could not stop the crimson blood-scaled wolves. The crimson blood-scaled wolves originally lived on the plateau, and running in dangerous terrain was like running on flat ground. Half an hour later, Yutong Pass was flattened, and the Crimson Blood Cavalry whistled through, heading straight for the imperial capital. The Crimson Blood Cavalry had great endurance, and after running for half a day, they stopped to rest once. 3 days later, the Crimson Blood Cavalry had run for tens of thousands of miles, and were getting closer and closer to the imperial capital. Rumble. 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 There are cavalrymen coming. Hua Ying said. Could it be the Shifang Sword sect? Someone guessed. But the answer was soon revealed. Horses neighed in front of them, and the crimson blood-scaled wolves' chi shook them, causing them to fall off their horses. Lu Ming and the others were speechless. This army's fighting strength was not that great. And there were not many of them, only about 10,000. Was it really the Shifang Sword sect that had sent them? Was it a joke? Lu Ming led the Crimson Blood Cavalry, and stopped, and did not attack. After a long while, the troops in front were finally organized. A few burly men wearing iron armor rode out on green scale horses. Who are you? How dare you block our way? A short and stout man glared and shouted angrily. They did not recognize the Crimson Blood-Scaled Wolves cavalry. That's right, unless the soldiers were near the border, it was normal for the soldiers near the imperial capital to not recognize the Kaisye armored cavalry. I want to ask, who are you? How dare you dare to block me? Shouted and shouted Crimson of the King Blood we Crimson Blood King with King's Royal Imperial Orders Crimson Blood Kings. The Blood Emperors. Crimson Man. Crimson Blood Wolves Scaled Wolves' Eyes. Cry Crimson Blood Scaled. Crimson Blood Crimsons. Cried the short and fat man's eyes were filled with vigilance as he asked, Speak. Who are you people? Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Kill. Leave the generals in front alive. Lu Ming roared as soon as the short and fat man finished speaking. Roar. Roar. Wolf howls resounded as the Crimson Blood-Scaled Wolves began their charge. Without the slightest suspense, the Kaisye cavalry charged forward, and this army of 10,000 men was completely annihilated. Some died in battle, some fled, and some surrendered. The generals in the lead were all captured alive. You are the Kaisye cavalry? At this time, the short and fat man seemed to remember something and shouted in horror. Your reaction isn't slow. All right, speak. Where is the 8th prince and the others? Lu Ming stared at the short and stout man and asked coldly. You are Tianyun? The short and stout man's body kept trembling, and his eyes were filled with fear. Speak. Lu Ming coldly shouted. I'll talk, please spare my life. The short and fat man screamed. Speak. Lu Ming's killing intent burst out, and it was incomparably cold. I'll talk. We received news that the 8th prince and his men are hiding in the East River mountain range. We were ordered to encircle and annihilate them. We are only one of the armies. There are many other armies that set out earlier than us. The short and fat man shouted. East River mountain range? Lu Ming's eyes showed a trace of anxiety. He shouted, Lead the way, let's go to the East River mountain range. The short and fat man naturally did not dare to disobey. He immediately led the way, and the Kaisye cavalry galloped towards the East River mountain range. The East River mountain range was not very far from here. With the speed of the Crimson Blood-Scaled Wolves, it was only 1,000 miles away. The East River mountain range was not very famous. Although it was vast, the mountains were not very high, and it was not very dangerous. There were also no powerful demonic beasts, and even ordinary people could step into it. There was a small hill surrounded by an army. There were at least 10,000 people surrounding the hill, and it was impenetrable. In the air, there were also more than 20 experts standing in the air. Huakai, I advise you to surrender. Don't make any useless struggles. You're doomed, and your fate is sealed. In the air, a big man with a battle sword on his back shouted. That's right, Huakai and the others were on the hill. There were about 2,000 of them, and all of them were in ragged clothes. Some of the bloodstains had not dried yet. It was obvious that they had gone through a fierce battle. Huakai stood at the front of the hill, and beside him stood a dozen middle-aged men and old men. Each of them had an extremely powerful aura, like a mountain. They were the only experts left in the imperial family. Behind them were two figures, Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. At this moment, the two of them were extremely haggard. Their faces were pale, and their bodies were weak. Lu Yuntian had lost his cultivation, and Li Ping was an ordinary person. The two of them had been escaping with Huakai and the others for a few days, and one could imagine how much hardship they had suffered. 8th Prince, you should escape first. With these seniors leading you, you still have a chance to escape. When you find Ming-Er, ask him to avenge us. Lu Yuntian said to Huakai, Uncle Lu, how could I, Huakai, be the type of person to drag out an ignoble existence? Moreover, Since Brother Lu has handed all of you over to me and he is fighting alone at the border, I must ensure your safety. Otherwise, how would I have the face to face him? Hua Kai smiled and stood straight. Lu Yuntian sighed. Brother Tian. Li Ping grabbed Lu Yuntian's hand tightly. Ping I'm already satisfied to be able to see you again. It's a pity that I dragged you into this. Lu Yuntian looked at Li Ping and said, Brother Tian, I'm not afraid. As long as I can be with you, it doesn't matter whether I live or die. Li Ping said. Lu Yuntian looked at Li Ping with pity and said, I believe that Ming will avenge us. One day, Ming will flatten the Shifang sword faction. I believe so too. Chapter 339. Refusing a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Hua Kai, I'll send you to accompany your damned father. The middle-aged man from Decimo Sword Sect was enraged when he saw Hua Kai ignoring him. Murderous intent erupted from his body. Decimo Sword Sect, you traitors. As long as I don't die today, I'll flatten Decimo Mountain in the future. Hua Kai's eyes flashed with murderous intent when the middle-aged man insulted his father. Ha ha ha, you think you can flatten Decimo Mountain? What a joke, the funniest joke I've ever heard in my decades of life. The middle-aged man laughed loudly. Moreover, do you think you can escape today? An army of 100,000 has surrounded the area within a few miles. My Decimo Sword Sect's experts have sealed off the sky and the ground. You can't escape, and no one can come in, ha ha. The middle-aged man laughed mockingly. Is that so? Then how did I get in? Suddenly, a cold voice came from above their heads. Who is it? The middle-aged man abruptly looked up. High up in the sky, 3 figures stood in the air. One was a young man, one was an old man, and the third was a burly man shrouded in a black cloak and bamboo hat. On the hill, Hua Kai, Lu Yuntian, and Li Ping trembled when they heard the voice. They hurriedly looked up and cried out in surprise. Lu Ming, Ming The 3 figures in the air were Lu Ming, Yang Quan, and the golden-eyed blood zombie. When they approached the East River mountain range, Lu Ming led Yang Quan and the golden-eyed blood zombie to search for Hua Kai's whereabouts and point out the direction for the Crimson Blood Cavalry. They quickly found Hua Kai's group from the sky. With their cultivation, the Decimo Sword Sect's experts didn't notice them at all. Who are you? This place is occupied by my Decimo Sword Sect. How dare you come here without permission? Are you courting death? The middle-aged man roared angrily. He had never heard of Lu Ming's name before. Just now, he had just said that no one could enter and Lu Ming and the rest had appeared. It was as if he had slapped himself in the face. This made him angry out of embarrassment. However, Lu Ming didn't even look at him. His figure flashed and appeared beside Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. Dad, Mom, are you all right? I'm late. Lu Ming said in a trembling voice. When he saw Lu Yuntian and Li Ping, Lu Ming felt as though a huge rock had been lifted from his heart. Before seeing Lu Yuntian and Li Ping, he was really worried that something might have happened to them. Ming we're fine. Why are you here? Don't worry about us. Leave. Li Ping said anxiously. Mother, don't worry. Since your son is here, they won't be able to touch a single hair of yours. Wait a moment, let's go together. Lu Ming at this moment, the sword-carrying man from the 10 Directions Sword Sect, was so angry that his mouth was crooked. An aura that was as deep as the sea erupted from his body. It was extremely terrifying. Martial Grandmaster Realm 9th Realm. The middle-aged man was a Martial Grandmaster Realm 9th Realm expert. Kid, I'm asking you a question. Are you deaf? The middle-aged man said coldly. Who do you think you are? Do you think I have to answer your question? Lu Ming glanced at him indifferently. You're courting death. Lu Ming's nonchalant expression almost made him explode in anger. He roared and unsheathed his giant sword. A terrifying sword radiance slashed at Lu Ming. With this sword strike, the entire hill would be reduced to ashes. Be careful. Block it. Immediately, a dozen martial grandmasters behind Hua Kai roared and unleashed their power to block the sword radiance. There was even a martial grandmaster Realm 9th Realm expert. He was injured and his aura was weak. He must be a top expert of the imperial family. However, a figure was faster than them. The golden-eye blood zombie appeared in front of them in a flash. He waved his hand and a claw radiance shot out. Boom! There was an earth-shattering sound. The golden-eye blood zombie did not move, but the middle-aged man was sent flying 100 meters away. How can you be so powerful? Who are you? The middle-aged man shouted in disbelief. Although he did not use his full strength, there were not many people in the Burning Sun Empire who could defeat him with one move. However, the golden-eye blood zombie did not move and ignored him. Tianyun, his Tianyun. Someone shouted in shock from the army at the foot of the hill. Apparently, someone recognized Lu Ming. Lu Ming had stayed in the imperial capital for a long time, so it was normal for someone to recognize him. Tianyun, you're Tianyun? The middle-aged man's expression changed. Then, he shouted, Tianyun, so what if it's you? I admit that the person you brought is very powerful, but do you think he can save more than 2,000 people by himself? I have 100,000 soldiers here. As long as I give the order, the army will charge. How many people can you save? As long as you leave, I will kill them all. Oh! Lu Ming said faintly. Hua Kai and the others had ugly expressions. On the hill, the other 2,000 people had heavy expressions. Eighth Prince, go with the champion Marquis first. Don't worry about us. We live and die as members of the imperial family. Yes, Eighth Prince, the champion Marquis is a peerless genius. As long as you escape, you will be able to avenge us with the champion Marquis. Eighth Prince, you go first. On the hill, the 2,000 people yelled and asked Hua Kai to go first. If we leave together. I will not abandon you all. Hua Kai said in a deep voice. Ha ha ha. Seeing this, the man with the sword on his back laughed arrogantly. Since I'm here, I will definitely take everyone out of here alive. Suddenly, Lu Ming spoke. His voice was firm and it reached everyone's ears. Ha ha ha, Tianyun, I can't stop the expert you brought with you if you want to take a few people away. But if you want to take more than 2,000 people away, you must be dreaming. Ha ha ha. The middle-aged man laughed in disdain. Who said I only brought 2 people? Lu Ming smiled faintly. What? The middle-aged man was stunned. Ayo! Ayo! At this moment, wolf howls resounded through the sky. Rumble. Then, the earth rumbled violently. What's going on? The middle-aged man's expression changed greatly. This is... Hua Kai was startled, then he thought of something and was overjoyed. Kill. In the forest, shouts of killing filled the sky and the earth rumbled violently. Not good, it's the Kaixia cavalry, Tianyun's Kaixia cavalry. Block them, block them. At this moment, the middle-aged man seemed to have thought of something and his expression changed greatly. Block them? Can you block them? Kaixia cavalry, listen to my order, kill without mercy. Lu Ming let out a long howl and gave the order. Kill without mercy. The Kaixia cavalry roared, their killing intent surging. In the next moment, shouts of killing filled the forest. The army of 100,000 was completely stunned by the sudden attack of the Kaixia cavalry. They could not form an effective counterattack. Chapter 340. The scarlet blood-scaled wolves could walk through the forest as if it were flat ground. Their battle power didn't decrease at all. It was a one-sided battle. The sword-bearing man's face paled as he roared, "Damn it, retreat! Retreat! Where are you going?" A cold voice sounded as Yang Quan appeared behind the sword-bearing man. "Old man, you want to stop me? Do you really think I'm a pushover?" The sword-bearing man was enraged as he slashed out with his sword. An incomparably resplendent sword light slashed towards Yang Quan. It was even stronger than the previous one. He wanted to kill Yang Quan in one strike and escape as soon as possible. He was afraid of being entangled by the golden-eyed blood zombie. But in the next moment, his pupils rapidly shrank. Yang Quan punched out, and a fist energy, vast and incomparably hot, bombarded towards him. Pang! The fist energy smashed into the sword light and shattered it. The fist energy didn't stop as it continued towards the sword-bearing man. How can this be? How can he be so strong? The sword-bearing man cried out in shock. His voice was filled with disbelief. He had already used his full strength in the previous strike. He had planned to kill Yang Quan in one strike, but he never imagined that it would be shattered by Yang Quan's fist. How can there be so many experts by Tianyun's side? I have to block it. I have to inform the sect master about this matter. The sword-bearing man roared as he used his sword to block. Clang! The terrifying fist energy smashed into his sword, causing it to tremble. His body violently trembled as he flew back like a cannonball, spurting blood from his mouth. Half-step king, this is a half-step king. The sword-bearing man was scared out of his wits as he turned and ran without thinking. I already said that you can't leave. Yang Quan sneered. His figure was like lightning as he caught up to the sword-bearing man in a few breaths. Boom! Boom! After a few punches, the sword-bearing man let out a miserable cry as several large holes appeared in his body. He died on the spot. Kill! Attack together! Hua Kai roared. On the hill, more than 2,000 people attacked together, charging towards the Decimo Sword School's experts and the army. Corpses were everywhere. Corpses were everywhere. The smell of blood was so thick that it could not be dispersed. It was like purgatory in the human world. The golden-eyed blood zombie roared. With a wave of his hand, he tore apart a few martial arts grandmasters from the 10 Directions sword sect. He opened his mouth and roared. The rolling blood chi was swallowed by the golden-eyed blood zombie. A thick blood chi condensed on his body. Lu Ming did not attack. He stood beside Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. There was no need for him to participate in this battle. Not long after, the forest was littered with corpses. Of the 100,000 soldiers that the omnidirectional sword faction had brought with them, only a small portion managed to escape. Most of them had remained behind. That was especially true of the omnidirectional sword faction's experts. Every one of them had been killed. Lu Ming, I knew you would come. Hua Kai didn't make a move as he came to Lu Ming's side. No one else heard them. Hua Kai, I didn't expect the 10 Directions sword sect to be so bold. When I heard the news, it was already too late. Lu Ming sighed. Now that things have come to this, I can only move forward. Sooner or later, I will make the 10 Directions sword sect pay with blood. Hua Kai gritted his teeth. Lu Ming patted Hua Kai's shoulder and said seriously, Don't worry, your problem is my problem. I will definitely destroy the 10 Directions sword faction. This time, Hua Kai still brought Lu Yuntian and Li Ping with him. This made Lu Ming very touched, and he had already treated Hua Kai as his brother. I believe in you. Hua Kai revealed a smile, but in the next moment, his expression suddenly changed as if he had thought of something. Lu Ming, there's something important I need to tell you. What is it? Lu Ming asked. It's about the Mystic Essence Sword faction. Hua Kai said. Mystic Essence Sword faction? Lu Ming was puzzled. Yes, not long ago, my father received news that the Duanmu family of the Mystic Essence Sword faction had already sided with the omnidirectional sword faction. These years, they have been secretly working for the omnidirectional sword faction. If it wasn't for my father's spies in the 5 major sects, I'm afraid we wouldn't have found out. Hua Kai said solemnly. What? Lu Ming was shocked. Lu Ming, this matter should be absolutely true. My father originally planned to pass this news to the Mystic Essence Sword faction's sect master, but before he could do so, that bastard sky-suppressing king started to rebel. Hua Kai gritted his teeth. The Duanmu family actually sided with the omnidirectional sword faction? I should have thought of this. Lu Ming's heart rippled as he muttered in his heart. He had been suspicious for a long time. He knew from Hua Kai that the Silver Wolf Pavilion was an assassin group nurtured by the omnidirectional sword faction, and the Duanmu family's sect master had repeatedly sent assassins from the Silver Wolf Pavilion to kill him. He used to think that the Duanmu family had spent money to hire the assassins from the Silver Wolf Pavilion, but now it seemed that it wasn't the case. Not good, the Mystic Essence Sword faction is in danger. Suddenly, Lu Ming's expression changed. Lu Ming, I'm also worried about this. The omnidirectional sword faction has been scheming for a long time. First, it was the Ghost Moonsaber sect with the omnidirectional sword faction's spies, then it was our imperial family, and the Sky Suppressing King was already a member of the omnidirectional sword faction. Now, the omnidirectional sword faction will definitely use the same method to defeat the Mystic Essence sword faction. Once the Mystic Essence sword faction is destroyed, the Blazing Sun Empire will only have the Scarlet Cloud Valley left. It's only a matter of time before the Blazing Sun Empire is destroyed. At that time, the omnidirectional sword faction will unify the Blazing Sun Empire, and will really suffer a crushing defeat. Hua Kai said, his tone was filled with worry. We must stop this from happening. No matter what, the Mystic Essence sword faction cannot be destroyed. I'll send you guys to the Immortal Gazing Pass and immediately rush to the Mystic Essence sword faction. I hope I can make it in time, Lu Ming said. Immortal Gazing Pass? Alright, once I reach the Immortal Gazing Pass, I'll announce the crimes of the omnidirectional sword faction and the Sky Suppressing King, and gather the geniuses to oppose the omnidirectional sword faction's forces and army. To fight against the omnidirectional sword faction together. Hua Kai nodded. The two of them had reached an agreement. At this time, the battle at the scene had ended and the army had been assembled. Let's go to the Immortal Gazing Pass. Lu Ming waved his hand. With Lu Ming and the Scarlet Blood Cavalry escorting them, the journey was smooth and unimpeded. Strangely, the omnidirectional sword faction didn't send out any experts to chase after them. This made Lu Ming and Hua Kai frown. The omnidirectional sword faction didn't send anyone to chase after them. It was very likely that the omnidirectional sword faction's manpower was used elsewhere. If they couldn't spare any manpower, where could they be used? Now, only the Mystic Essence sword faction and the Scarlet Cloud Valley could be used. Everyone rode at full speed. 3 days later, they were not far from the Immortal Gazing Pass. At this time, Ming Meng had already sent out an army to welcome them. Hua Kai, then we'll split up. Lu Ming said to Hua Kai. Alright, Lu Ming, I'll lead the army to support you as soon as possible. Hua Kai said. Ming be careful. Li Ping said worriedly. Father, mother, don't worry. I'll be fine. Lu Ming nodded and said goodbye to everyone. Scarlet Blood Cavalry, set out with me, Lu Ming shouted. Let's go. Chapter 341. The Mystic Essence Sword Sect was completely engulfed in the flames of war. Each of the 5 great academies was in an intense battle. Countless people roared. Sword chi crisscrossed, and blood splattered everywhere. At every moment, there were people dying in battle. Outside the 5 great academies, shouts of killing shook the sky. Countless soldiers in iron armor were fighting, and corpses were everywhere. Boom! Tens of thousands of meters above the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, 2 dazzling sword lights clashed as if they could split the heavens apart. Tens of thousands of sword chi swept out, and the collision between the 2 forces was terrifying. Duanmu Tsunghai, why did your Duanmu clan betray the Mystic Origin Sword Sect? The Mystic Essence Sword Sect has treated you well. Sect Master Lin Shui looked up to the sky and howled, his voice filled with grief and indignation. The 2 people in the air were Lin Shui and the Duanmu clan's ancestor, Duanmu Tsunghai, the White Tiger Institute's Dean Duanmu Pejuan's father. It's very simple. My Duanmu clan has worked hard for the Mystic Essence Sword Sect for close to 1,000 years, but we can only occupy 1 courtyard. The Mystic Essence Sword Sect should have belonged to my Duanmu clan long ago. A cold smile appeared on Duanmu Tsunghai's aged face. Haha, so the 10 Directions Sword Sect made such a promise to you. However, Duanmu Tsunghai, do you think that the 10 Directions Sword Sect will honor their promise after the matter is settled? How can you still be so naive at your age? Lin Shui smiled bitterly. You don't have to worry about that. You can go in peace. The Mystic Essence Sword Sect will definitely prosper in my hands. Also, don't think that the Crimson Cloud Valley will come to your rescue. 10 Directions Sword Faction and Heaven Evil Sect have gathered a large number of experts in the Crimson Cloud Valley. Now, the Crimson Cloud Valley can't even take care of itself. As long as we kill you and combine our forces, we can flatten the Crimson Cloud Valley in one fell swoop. Duanmu Tsunghai sneered. Boom. Boom. The two of them exchanged a few moves in a row, and the space around them shook crazily. This was a life-and-death battle between half-step kings. Ah! Ah! Screams of agony could be heard all over the Mystic Essence Sword sect, causing Lin Shui's eyes to turn bloodshot. Every scream represented the death of a Mystic Essence Sword sect disciple. Lin Shui's heart was bleeding. Back when the Ghost Moon Saber sect was in trouble, Lin Shui knew that something was wrong. She called back most of the experts from the Mystic Essence Sword sect just in case. Furthermore, hundreds of thousands of elite soldiers were deployed from various cities to guard the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Sure enough, 5 days ago, the 10 Directions Sword sect launched a large-scale attack. Other than hundreds of thousands of soldiers, there was also a large number of martial arts experts. The Mystic Essence Sword sect was embroiled in a war. However, the Mystic Essence Sword sect had the home field advantage. With the 5 great academies as the base, they activated the 5 ultimate formation. With the 5 ultimate formations guarding, the 10 Directions Sword sect could not break in at all. The two sides fought fiercely for more than 4 days, but the Mystic Essence Sword sect was as steady as a mountain. But Lin Shui and the others never imagined that at this moment, the Duanmu clan would rebel. After destroying the 5 ultimate formation, they joined forces with the omnidirectional sword sect to attack the Mystic Essence Sword sect. The Mystic Essence Sword sect was caught off guard and suffered countless casualties. In the end, under the leadership of Lin Shui, they fought back desperately and barely managed to stabilize the situation. High up in the sky not far from the two of them, there were also 2 people engaged in an intense battle. The shockwaves from the battle between these 2 people were not the slightest bit smaller than Duanmu Tsunghai and Lin Shui's. They were also 2 half-step kings. One was from the 10 Directions Sword sect, and the other was from the Mystic Essence Sword sect. The Mystic Essence Sword sect originally had 3 half-step kings. Now that Duanmu Tsunghai had rebelled, there were only 2 left. Other than the peak battle in the sky, there were also fierce battles going on in other places. In the Vermilion Bird Courtyard in the south, the Vermilion Bird Courtyard's Dean Yanglan and the White Tiger Courtyard's Dean Duanmu Pejuan were engaged in an intense battle. In the Vermilion Bird Courtyard, Mulins roared. Sword light surged and killed an expert from the 10 Directions Sword sect. By now, Mulins's cultivation had already broken through the martial ancestor realm. Moreover, it had reached a very high level. In the Azure Dragon Courtyard in the east, Zhong Muyun became one with his sword and fought an expert from the 10 Directions Sword sect. In the White Tiger Courtyard in the west, Ling Tian roared, Duanmu clan, I swear that I will never be on the same side as you. Ling Tian roared and rushed down the White Tiger Courtyard, his body covered in blood. In the sky above the Qilin Courtyard, the battle between the 2 young people attracted a lot of attention. Many people who were in the middle of the battle looked over from time to time. Because these 2 people were too famous in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. One of the 6 heroes, Feng Wuji. The other person was actually Duanmu Lin. At this moment, Duanmu Lin and Feng Wuji were in an intense battle. The 2 of them continued to attack and their power was extremely terrifying. Duanmu Lin is too shocking. He can actually fight Feng Wuji to a draw. Some time ago, Feng Wuji had already broken through to the 4th realm of the martial ancestor realm. I didn't expect Duanmu Lin to be on par with him. Shocking, this is too shocking. Many elders and deacons of the Mystic Essence Sword sect could not help but be shocked in the midst of the battle. Duanmu Lin was a rare genius and his cultivation speed was shocking. However, he still managed to catch up with the others who were constantly improving. Feng Wuji, this is your strength. You're really disappointing. If I was born a few years earlier, I would have trampled you under my feet. Duanmu Lin roared arrogantly. Duanmu Lin, no matter how strong you are, you're just a traitor. The world will punish you. Feng Wuji roared. What a joke. Feng Wuji, you're really ridiculous. History is written by the victors. Don't you know that? Duanmu Lin laughed loudly. The 2 of them continued to fight and it was extremely intense. In the sky, the battle between Lin Shui and Duanmu Tsunghai was getting more and more intense. Duanmu Tsunghai, you're too naive to think that you can destroy us. Lin Shui shouted angrily. Who said it's only them? At this moment, a domineering voice came from afar. Hiss hiss. Then, a hissing sound could be heard. Hearing this sound, Duanmu Tsunghai was overjoyed and laughed. Haha, we're finally here. Whoosh. In the distance, a fiery red light flashed like lightning. In the next moment, the light disappeared and a huge and ferocious centipede appeared in the sky. This centipede was really incomparably huge. It was more than 100 meters long and was red all over. The most shocking thing was that it even had 3 pairs of huge fleshy wings. Both sides of its body were densely packed with claws. The claws cut through the void like blades. On the centipede's back stood dozens of figures. Each of them had a strong aura like a mountain. The person in the lead was wearing iron armor and his aura was as deep as the sea. Thousand-legged centipede, Yin Moon South Guardian Monarch. Lin Shui roared in disbelief. On the giant centipede's back was the Yin Moon Empire's South Guardian Monarch, Yin Tianjue. Ha ha ha, Lin Shui, how about we destroy your Mystic Essence Sword sect together? Yin Tianjue laughed. Despicable and shameless, you actually colluded with the Yin Moon Empire. Lin Shui roared angrily. What colluding? It's just cooperation. There are no eternal enemies in the world, only eternal benefits. Lin Shui, you're a sect leader. Don't you know this? No wonder you're defeated. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.